So if you're wanting to get into the SJM universe, which is 16 books,
16,
this is how we would recommend you read it, especially if we're starting over.
Blush and Burn recommendation, Laura and Annie style.
So you're contemplating on getting into the SJM universe, which is 16 books long. I know, 16 books.
Commitment.
It's total commitment. This is the Blush and Burn recommended reading guide for you.
Guide,
Guide,
order. What we think you need to know before you get into SJM. Even though most of us have already been there.
Yes.
We have found multiple people getting back into reading again,
yes,
who are starting over, and you're going, let me guide you.
And they go,
just a little.
They do this whole like, I keep hearing about ACOTAR. I keep hearing about ACOTAR. And I'm like, don't start there. Hold on.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just getting into fantasy, a lot of people who don't or haven't read any of these books, there are 16. This is a plethora. This is quite the year for you.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you're going to dive in.
Yeah.
It's a hefty
lot. Just this Throne of Glass series.
TOG ain't no joke.
It ain't no joke.
Nope.
So here is what we would recommend you do when jumping into this universe.
Which we both agree on.
Yes. Full-heartedly.
We both agree on this like order. And I mean, by no means is this complicated. It's just, we're just throwing it out there what we did and what we still think should be done.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So you start with the Throne of Glass series.
Throne of Glass.
Okay. Here's our reasoning why. Sarah J. Maas started here. So you grow with her writing, right? But not only are we recommending this series first,
we think you should read The Assassin's Blade first.
Please do yourself the favor, okay? There are many people who are like, read it second, read it third. How many people have you talked to that said,
I swear
that was the worst
told me
decision.
that they were going to like read it fourth. And I'm like, what are you? You know what?
Yeah.
Definitely not fourth.
No. I've talked to a couple people who have literally been like, I read it second and I wish that I would have read it first because I DNF'd it.
Agreed.
I would have too.
Agreed.
This is a collection of short stories about our FMC, Selena Sardathian. And you need these stories. They come in.
No,
they hook you.
No,
they hook you.
No, they hook you. They hook you into the story. They hook you into the world. And it allows you to jump in to the Throne of Glass easily.
Yes.
Right? Because you already kind of have been introduced into the world. And now you're ready to start from the beginning.
And now you're getting everything.
Yeah.
This jumps into where she's at now.
I have an opinion about novellas, which you know.
Yes.
I believe novellas should be an introduction into a long series.
Yes.
Or I don't mind a 1.5. I don't mind a 1.3. I don't mind 3.5. I don't mind putting these like half little novellas in between things. But I would prefer the novella to almost be like a prequel.
Yes, I like prequel novellas.
I do too. I feel like it like gives you this like little taste of like what's to come.
Yep.
And kind of gets you the hook. Hooks you in.
This one did that.
And I think Assassin Blade actually does that really, really well.
Yeah, I do too. So read it first.
I read this first. You read it first.
I read it first.
I don't regret it. I think it's I think it's the way to go.
I do too. And there was another person who's like, I tried reading it third and I just couldn't get into it. And it made them stop reading the entire series. Then they went back and read it first, and they were like, it changed the whole dynamic of the series
Yeah,
for me,
I
and
think
I
it
was
does.
able to finish it.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. Also, this book, the first book I ever cried in.
Agreed.
This one pulls at your heartstrings.
Yeah, but
There are a couple low spots that you need to get through to get to it. And honestly,
it was only because
this one was a little slow. It is a little slow, but you still need the information in it.
I think you need the information in Tower of Dawn. It's just not, it kind of pulls you out of the flow a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, here, we'll throw them in. It kind of, Tower of Dawn does kind of throw you out of this flow that it doesn't stop the timeline.
No.
But it kind of takes you out of like this main story.
The main world.
And puts you kind of into another one, so that I think what it does is it allows the world to get bigger.
I agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. And there is a tandem read for Empire of Storms with Tower of Dawn. Now, I have never done this.
No, I didn't know that.
I've
vaguely heard people talk about it, but I've actually never met anyone who's done it
and enjoyed it. Because I feel like if we know somebody who's done it, they would tell us.
I just feel like that's like a lot to like go back and forth.
Them things are hefty.
Yeah, I think it's a little too much.
I agree.
I would,
but they're good by themselves.
Yeah, I think I would do one right after. Yeah,
back to back for sure. Not the tandem read. So start.
But I did learn a
Throne of
lot
Glass.
in Tower of Dawn.
That helped.
It does help the magic system.
Yeah.
And the world grow.
Yeah.
It's really a necessity to the whole thing.
This is also fantastic in audiobook format. Elizabeth Evans was the narrator.
I did that for the last few because of my age, probably. I read all of these when they actually came out.
Yeah. I have only ever consumed these in audiobook. I don't even know. When did this one come out?
I know. I'm actually like, I'm going to take a peek at the date. What does it say? I feel like I should just know this by heart.
2014? 2012?
Why is it not easily seen? Yep, there it is.
I don't know what the actual publication
that
is.
That is so bizarre. It says text copyright 2014 and the map copyright was 2012. Interesting.
Well, that sounds about right because Griffin was born in 2014. But at this point, I think there were like 3 or 4 out.
I was going to say, is this 2012? That's why. Because this text came out in 2012. So
yes, because these ones we got just the short stories.
So I read this first in a random.
It was like an email, wasn't it?
It really,
got released in like little magazines and stuff.
I can't figure. I wish I could remember how I read this, and I can't. Because I don't remember getting the book
or books.
Yeah, or books. It's literally like
it's accumulation of short stories.
I know. I don't remember how I read it. But I feel like it came to me in a, I don't know. It's going to age me.
Newsletter probably.
I got it through like a really very first beginnings of like Kindle version. But I was like reading it on my phone and it was this little tiny like pixely
this
like
is dating us.
I know, this like pixely phone, and like I could like, I think the app was called Moby. I don't know. It was wild. Whatever. That's how I read this first and got literally hooked.
Yep.
And then
we went right into Throne of
so
Glass.
I must have started this in 2014. So that would make sense. And
then it would make sense for me too, because as these came out, we started to get them in audiobook.
Yeah, these must not have been in audio.
They were released. So,
and I will throw out really quick, my favorite cover is
Queen of Shadows.
I love Queen of Shadows.
This was such a good book.
I mean, but come on. Like, her hair is so freaking dope.
I know. If we did a Maas deep dive, get it? Maas deep dive. If we did a deep dive into this series, put in the comment section whether you think that that would be like a really good idea and if you would want that. Because we would deep dive every single book if that is something that like
We've already
our
read them
subscribers and stuff would enjoy because we have read them
or
multiple
listened
times.
to them multiple
This has
times.
been my comfort series.
Yeah.
Back when nothing was coming out that I wanted or anything like that and I wanted a good audiobook, this is where I went.
I'll tell you what drew me personally to this series at first is the title, because I have like a
You're a sucker for an assassin.
mad love of female assassins.
You do.
I just can't help myself. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, this, I obviously would have like, if you just saw this somewhere, you would have been like, oh, Annie needs that.
Yes,
So
I agree.
the title alone is what drew me in and
Yeah.
pushes you through.
Yeah. We should also note we prefer the original out of print covers.
Of course
not
we do.
the new ones. Just throwing that out there as a
Why we changed the
why
covers?
why are we changing shit?
I don't know.
Stop it.
Why we changed them is beyond me.
Yes. So
The new ones are hideous.
that's where you start.
Okay.
Then we recommend
We move right into ACOTAR.
Agatar. Let's push that one just a little farther. It might drop. That's okay. It's right behind you. Okay. So let's talk about Akatar. Okay. I would also like to note on these, we are not impressed with the new covers. Not a fan. And who decided to change spines on the last book?
I actually, yeah, I know. Gosh, look at them.
I don't like
They
the way this looks on my
all
shelf.
kind of match, and then all of a
And
sudden
there's
you
like,
have
bam!
this.
Is it because this is Cassian and Nesta?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I just think
We do not approve. We
there
also don't
was-
approve of the new special edition that's coming out, but we'll save that for another day. We have feels. So in this series, why do we recommend this one after Throne of Glass, Annie?
I think that this gives you an good introduction into SJM's writing style.
Yes.
And because I think that these two are different, I think they have two completely different feels, if I'm being honest.
I do too.
Yeah, I think they have like two different feels. Whether or not she planned on actually creating the like universe back when she did Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, I don't know. Because I don't know if you really start to pick up things
Yeah.
until
The only thing that truly feels similar,
you get here.
but even then it's not in this,
And then
it's
it
these.
starts. Yeah.
So like, yeah, you're still dealing with elemental magic. You're
Yeah.
still dealing with fae, but that's like where the similarities really end.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like finding little Easter eggs in the Crescent View. Sorry, that's my middle school that I went to. So that was fun. Shout out. No,
Woo-woo. It's no longer there.
into Crescent City.
Yeah.
They're fun to find.
Oh, for sure.
Like they're like I love finding people's like little things that they've found and like, you know, crazy tangents people go off on. Like I
Yeah.
love it. I think it's a good time. But I still think that this gives you a really good introduction into like what she's capable of,
Yes.
right?
And this has like, it just has a different vibe in general.
It's a totally different vibe.
You're not going from like YA into new adult. You actually have more like a new adult way of being in these ones because I mean, Feyre's 19 when you start. But
Yeah, they gradually grow.
They gradually grow. And,
yeah, but they gradually grow here too.
Right. But I feel like this was in a different way because I think her writing was different after.
Interesting.
So I did love these. Absolutely love them. But
Did
I'm
you like
not-
that one?
Okay.
Do
Do I feel like it was necessary? That's what I feel like you were going to ask me.
I was going to say, can you skip a court of mist and starlight?
That says frost, by the way.
I don't even know.
A court of frost and starlight.
It's funny because I actually can see mist back here, and
It's
that's
probably
what I
what you
said.
did.
Yeah, a court of
I
frost and
mean,
starlight.
Probably.
Yeah, you could.
I think you probably could. It's like a Christmas novella.
I think some
It's-
people liked it, and I think they thought that it like added to it. And
Yeah. It doesn't take away from the story. I'll say that. I don't feel like it takes away, but I also don't feel like it's absolutely necessary if you don't want a shorter story thrown into the mix, right? But I do feel like
I personally didn't care for it. So
we grew up. We took a giant leap.
Yeah, all of a sudden we were like,
into
hey,
this one,
we're
into a court
grown-ups.
of silver flames. We took a giant leap from ACOTAR,
Yeah,
a court of thorns and roses, to a court of silver flames.
correct.
This was a big leap. This
Yeah,
was
but-
a grab the headboard big leap.
Yeah, but I obviously
But
like
we loved
this
it.
one.
We loved it. We're just stating that there was a big leap here. Okay. So
Well, it also showed you that SJM is growing in that area.
Yes.
Right? And was capable of writing things that were a little more spicy, as we say.
yes,
Because Kingdom of Ash, she was spicy.
starting. I don't remember it being like
Towards
super
the
spicy
end, maybe
though.
she was
She had a
getting
couple
there.
scenes. This is why I also want to do a deep dive on it, because there's a couple things that I feel like I've forgotten.
That I probably didn't write down.
Yeah.
I just think that
I
as
just feel
a
like we grew.
whole, this was a fun series, and I love A Court of Mist and Fury. Which one's your favorite?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a minute since I've
I know, but
consumed them, but these two are
I mean, I
probably
probably
my
couldn't
favorite.
pick a well, okay, so do you like
Because I like how she did the war.
the
in a
story
court of
between
wings and ruin.
Farah and Reese better than you like between Nesta and Cassian?
They're
very different,
They're
huh?
very different.
I
That's
know,
the
they're very
problem.
different relationships.
It's very different. And so while I loved their story, Nesta still bugs the crap out of me.
I agree.
But these ones, I love how they came together.
I agree. I think
That was
still
important
would
to
be
me.
like this classic like Farah and Rhysand, just for the simple fact that like I just think it's like so yummy.
Yeah. I will say that you have to read this in order. There is no out of order reading here.
Yeah, but none of her books are like out of order. I mean, the only thing you
the only
question
one
is
was
Assassin's Blade.
But these ones, you just read them straight across.
It's more
this
about
series
which
is read straight
series
across.
would you go to, and
Yeah.
we think you should go TOG, ACOTAR,
And then
and then you move in
it's
to
okay. I mean, no.
one of my favorite 2 books. Notice I said 2.
We're gonna talk about it. Hold on. You can bring them forward.
So,
Crescent City.
do we like the covers of Crescent City first of all?
Absolutely. These
We do.
covers are gorgeous.
I
We
have
love them.
The Barnes & Noble special editions, and they are some of my favorite prized possessions.
Yes.
I love the covers of them
Yep.
a lot.
Yes.
And they all flow.
They all flow. I'm going to give a couple of spoilers here in this series. So if you haven't read this series, this is your opportunity to turn back, because there are things that happen in this series. And the reason why we're going to say our order here for these is specific to some spoilers. So just be prepared for that. I had a hard time with House of Earth and Blood the first time I read it. Only because I was like, where is this coming from? And it's more contemporary
Oh, yeah.
than what I was expecting.
This actually is mine. I bought this.
And then you said you
And
didn't want it
I-
because you couldn't read the
I
flow.
bought it right when it came out. And I don't know what year that is, but I'm going to look. I bought it right when it came out. And
I still love
oh,
it.
see, look, the end papers are beautiful of this. Jeez.
Show the people.
I mean, come on.
It's gorgeous.
They're really pretty. Okay, so I bought this and I could not. Okay, 2020.
2020. Actually, that's right, because
crazy.
we were at Bear Lake.
We were.
When
and
you got it.
I was having a hard time getting into it at the beginning. And I said, here, take it, read it. When I'm ready,
Right.
I'll do it. And
Then we bought the audiobook
I listened
and we got
to
into it. And that was so much easier to get into at the time because it wasn't what we were expecting.
But the audiobook was so well done.
So well done.
done. It made the story come alive.
Yes. I 1000% will agree with that. So we loved Danica and Hunt's story here.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. We love the growth
It was not
that happened.
It's not Danica. Oh yeah, it is Danica and Bryce. You said
Oh my gosh, I said it wrong.
You said Danica. You said
Okay,
Danica
I
and
did.
Hunt.
I said
So
Danica and Hunt because I was
Bryce
thinking
and
about
Hunt.
Danica.
But-
Bryce and Hunt.
But you learned about Danica and
Danica.
Bryce's relationship.
Yes. Then
I
you
wonder what the end
have.
papers look like in this one. They're the same.
They're
as
the
ones in
same.
front.
I'll show these ones here in a second. Then we have Bryce and Hunt's relationship that continues.
I love
which
this
is
book.
very good. I actually really loved this book. This is the end paper.
This is one.
This
of my
one is
favorites.
fantastic.
This is one of my favorites.
It's basically the cover, but just kind of blown out. But still really good. Okay?
Totally.
Then you're going to go online. We'll just show the end paper here just for kicks and giggles because it's gorgeous, right?
They're so pretty.
They're so pretty. But then you're going to go online and you're going to read everybody's spoiler posts on this and then you're going to throw it out. Absolute
I
trash.
don't know if I would throw it out as much as like it was long.
Rune and Lydia
Had that whole story.
carried this whole story.
I know.
This was my whole spoiler, okay? Rune and Lydia carried
I
House
know.
of Flame and
It
Shadow.
was so heartbreaking. I wanted my story of Hunt and Bryce, and I wanted it to like continue and wrap up in this like most beautiful present, and I didn't feel like I got it.
I didn't feel like that happened at all. So
Yeah.
I have strong feelings about this one. This one actually made me really, really mad.
Did
Now,
it
they're not all
wrap
gonna
the
be winners.
did they wrap the story up? Yeah, they wrapped it up.
Yeah, but not.
It wrapped it up.
It's fine.
Like it wrapped it up, but the amount of POVs in this book was
So many. And so many that were
and
unnecessary.
I almost don't even it was a lot.
It's almost like she wants to do spin-offs of the other people, like Therian and
I'm fine
Ian
with that.
and that.
No, I'm
but
totally
that
fine
was
with that, but
too much for this.
I don't know if we needed all the POVs.
I don't think we did. It was so much. It was so much.
It
it
was a
so
lot to
much.
go through.
for what felt like so little that you actually got from it. So I keep it. I tabbed it. I followed the hype of it, but it made me very frustrated.
I mean, I remember being on the treadmill, like, because that was like my favorite time to read it, and I would be calling you while I'm like going, and I'm like, you won't believe this like
freaking book.
yeah,
Yeah.
I had a hard time with it, and I'm
I did too.
disappointed
It breaks my heart.
because the
Okay.
first two were so great.
They were so good. So good.
Bryce and Hunt had an amazing relationship, and
Then Bryce and Hunt did not have an amazing relationship.
yeah, it just didn't carry on, did it?
No.
It was really
It was,
sad.
that's what I mean. Like,
and
that's
sometimes
why
I almost feel bad talking about it because I don't want to hinder someone from reading it because I almost think that maybe somebody else would like it and it's just not my thing. I don't know.
there were people who enjoyed it, and that's fine.
Yeah, but
You get to read whatever you freaking want to read.
yeah, you do.
Okay.
And I think I read it, or maybe I did
frustrating.
both. I don't
We
remember.
did both because we were doing it together, and it was
I did
1 year
both.
ago this month that
Oh,
we
was
did it.
it?
It was 1 year ago this month when all of this was like coming
It's
full
funny.
circle.
It seems longer.
And it does. Oh, it does. But it was
Okay.
only 1 year ago
It seems longer.
because we read this one at the very beginning of January,
Yeah.
and we read this one in the middle of January for
Right.
this one to come out the
So,
end of January.
What's
I'm
the
like,
next
now I'm like
one she
90%
has coming
positive.
out? Do we know? Is it?
Oh,
is
this
it?
was something else I was going to say. Not about this series. Yeah, 2024. So, not about this series. Let's backtrack just for a hot second. Back over to ACOTAR.
When's the
Okay.
next one?
We need to have a little chat with some of these people who are like, where's ACOTAR 6? Allow me to introduce
This is not
book 1,
Yeah.
A Court of Thorns and Roses. Book 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. Book 3, A Court of Wings and Ruin. 3.5,
Yeah, that's a halfer.
A Court of Frost and Starlight. Book 4, A Court of Silver Flames.
So we're looking
So
for
we're
book
looking
5.
for book 5. Yes, there will be 6 books in this series, but it is book 5. It
Are
is
we
not book 6.
excited for book 5?
I don't know. Am I getting this again? Am I getting House of Flame and Shadows again? I don't know. Am I getting different point of views?
Yeah, but here's what's so interesting is this, as I recall, did not leave us on like a crazy cliffhanger, right?
No, it did not.
Like it ended.
But we haven't heard Azrael's story,
I know.
Elaine's story,
Which
Lucian's
we have
story.
Lucian, and I think we even have
You have Gwen, and you have Emery. These are all new characters that have been put in, and now people want to know their stories.
which
So what are we doing there?
gives her so much more room.
Yes.
I'm hoping that she'll come out with a bang. I mean, obviously I'm going to read it.
Oh yeah.
I hope that what you get in A Court of Silver Flames is what she gives us into book number 5.
I agree. I will agree with this. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, if we can do, I mean, obviously I don't want the exact same thing, but like if we can give the same thing that was in here,
The same
to
vibe?
the next book, then that would be fantastic. But my faith kind of died
Dwindled.
a little bit after the last one, and
I know.
I think that like it can be redeemed.
I do too.
Yeah.
I just was very frustrated. Now, is Sarah J. Maas an auto-buy author? Yep. Still auto-buy for me.
What's an auto buy?
The moment she releases a book, I'm buying it. I'll get that sucker on pre-order.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
I will buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
I will not
don't. I will totally get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I needed to read House of Flame and Shadow to wrap the whole thing up for
for
Crescent
sure.
City. It was part of it. Will I critique the crap out of it? Absolutely. So I will. So, like we said, we're gonna you start with Throne of Glass, Akatar, Crescent City,
Yep.
and I think the cool thing to know about this series is that she obviously started this when she was younger.
Yes.
And I think that you can
she has
feel
grown.
the maturity and the growth throughout the whole thing.
And her writing style as a whole. So you do have to understand.
Yeah,
when
because
you
there's
go into
3
Throne of Glass.
totally different feelings. Like
Yeah.
the series are like you think, oh, it's just like her her writing is the same, but they're
But
very
no, they're
different
very
vibes.
different, and they all grow together.
Yeah, they're different vibes.
Yeah. Do we have a speculation that she's going to write a book that brings in all 3?
I think she's already proven that that's probably what she'll do.
Yes. Based off of this one
Yeah, I think
and
she's,
things we learn in this one.
Yeah,
which I should say for those who are listening in audio.
Yeah, I
from
think-
House of Sky and Breath and House of Flame and Shadow. There's things that happen in these 2 books.
Yeah, I
that
think
I believe she's going to pull them all together.
I think she'll pull them all together in a and depending upon how detailed she wants to be,
Yeah,
you know, she'll pull them together.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, she's already indicated that she's doing that. She's pulling little pieces from everything and like,
well, because she pulled things in this one from here, from Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
She pulled in House of Flame and Shadow from Throne of Glass series.
Right.
And in House of Sky and Breath, she pulled in Akatar. So I'm very intrigued to see where she goes in the future, to see what her writing style is going to be like in these next ones. She's still an auto-buy author for me, and I will consume it to its full extent.
yeah,
And I'm intrigued by book 5, because that's what we were told we're getting next.
yeah,
But she has a 7-book deal right now.
which is not surprising.
No, not at all.
It's not surprising by any means. I mean, she's a great writer. She's a fantastic writer.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people downplay it a little bit because they're like, oh, we're talking about Akatar again, or oh, we're doing
It's
this again.
overhyped.
It's
Da-da-da-da-da.
overhyped, and it's
No,
like,
this is
I
appropriately
think it's
hyped.
just because they're classic, great series, and you can tell she put a lot of time and effort and love into all of them. I didn't feel like there were plot holes in Throne of Glass at all.
Definitely not.
I was impressed with that. I don't think there are plot holes in Akatar.
I do not feel the same. Oh, no, sorry. I do feel the same.
Yeah.
There are not, to an extent, until we figure out what this book is.
Yeah,
The
we'll
only
see what
plot
that
holes I
looks like.
truly feel like are happening right now is the stories of the other characters that we're waiting on. So Elaine and Azriel are like
Yeah, but
and
I-
Lucian are
but
the three that I'm like, what's
I
happening
would
with these?
I would expect that she will do almost the exact same thing that she did with Throne of Glasses, which what I hope for is that she's going to expand the world.
Yes. Which is what I'm anticipating as well.
So I think you're going to move into other courts, right? You're expanding.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We don't even have a publication date yet.
I do love SJM, and sometimes
Yes,
it's
I
hard
do
when you
too.
fight the hype of like, I don't want to be a part of the hype. So sometimes you fight it.
Yes.
Not you fight the fact that you don't want to just go along with what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And you want to
Yeah.
have your own opinion and stuff. And so
I agree. But I do feel like this series is appropriate, or these series, Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, and Crescent City, are appropriately hyped. So
well, yeah, because they're great.
they are great. So start with Throne of Glass. Then you go to ACOTAR, and then you go into Crescent City.
Yeah.
So this is how the Blush and Burn book club and us, because even at book club we talked about it.
Yeah,
and
everybody
they all
would
agree.
suggest that
This is the way you read it, and you start with Assassin's Blade.
Correct.
So I hope that this helps. I hope you guys have an amazing time reading.
Or you
these
just
series.
wanted to hear all of our opinions.
That too. We give those freely. Freely. Enjoy reading, guys.
Enjoy.